did you look at my review for this week's episode of Hero Walk of Vigilante Man? Another banger episode. We got introduced to Prince, or Purple, whatever his name is. I'll just call him Prince. And after watching this episode, you can see why he picked Midnight. Because they match each other's freak. This bro. Some of them, he's flamboyant, man. And speaking of flamboyant, to my surprise, it seems like Keith Silverstein is the voice actor that is voicing Purple, Purple Rain, Haze, whatever it was, is the one voicing Prince in this show, man. Which I was kind of shocked, because, you know, obviously he's an LA voice actor. He has already appeared in Hero Walk, you know, as Melissa's dad from the first film. So I was kind of shocked that they ran it back with Keith Silverstein. Now, I don't know for certain, like, he or the official Hero Walk haven't made no official post yet saying that, yes, indeed, he is voiced by Keith Silverstein, but I'm like 99% confident that it's him, man. That is his voice, so... Hey, that was a pleasant surprise to see Keith Silverstein once again back in Hero Walk. So that was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And yeah, man, we also got Kari. The next episode more likely be the final episode of this arc, and then we're back with the main cast with Shirakumo's death, and he seemingly got done in by a frog. Which, goddamn, bro, how do you get done in by a fucking frog? But hey, seems everyone got fucked up by this giant-ass frog, man. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode off we're basically just recapped for like the opening 2 minutes. This is what happened in the previous episode. Before finally we kick into, after the OP, we kick into the new stuff. So there's currently a break-in going in there. You got this big-ass dude that has like some sort of smoke cord coming in there, man, robbing the place or just causing havoc, and Midnight comes busting into the window. Honestly, this had some great art animation here, man. This cut was really good, man. We don't have an anime friend on this at this current moment, but it was a great cut, man. Though I gotta call bullshit on that, because even with how exposed Midnight is, we don't see a goddamn thing. There's like literally when she like comes busting in feet first through the window, there's just a black spot where, you know, her pussy would be. So obviously they would censor that, obviously. But I just found that kind of funny when I was like when I was watching the episode about that, man. Like, imagine the villains come in there and you see a miner's pussy coming right at you out of a window, bro. Like, because I'm pretty sure Midnight and the rest of the crew are like 16 at this point, which I think is underage. Well, actually, I don't know. I think Japan's like legal age consent is like. I think some areas have it up to 18, but I think some of them have it like some prefectures have it 17 or 16 or something like that. I don't know, I haven't looked this up. But regardless of such, man, that I think that would throw anybody for a loop to see that as you see someone comes bursting into the window. Anyway, so brother out here smoking 3 cigarettes at one time. Don't know why. Brother must really hate his lungs. I don't know. He's like yelling at the hostages, thinking that they sound off the alarm or something, man. And like I said, Midnight comes busting in through the window, man, makes her grand entrance. Shirakumo's afar by this dude, throws a fucking desk at them before making his escape through another window. Shirakumo tries to go after him, but Midnight stops and tells him, like, hey, we don't know if this smoke is safe to breathe. We gotta get these civilians out. You know, they're our top priority, get the civilians out. So Shirakumo's like, right, and so he leaves him up to Aizawa to catch up and take care of the villain. Aizawa starts closing in on him. He deploys his smoke once again, which starts burning his eyes. Obviously, can't use the word. Yeets some, like, I don't know, a file cabinet or something. I don't know what this cube thing, a fridge, I don't know, mini fridge, I don't know what this cube thing he threw at Aizawa. But he throws it, then Purple Highness comes in there, kicks that thing into the air, clutch save, man, does some spins for good measure, and decides to end up let the cops take him to finish chasing after him while they go back in the group. Midnight and the others catch up with him. She's always saying that we should have been there to hell. He's like, no, you two make the right call. And then like he kind of like goes on about kind of like why that was the right call. But today you're a hero, baby. Keith honestly I could tell Keith was probably having a blast in the studio recording this guy, man. You could be a hero, baby. I love he does that first of his line, he just starts singing, man. Keith is great, man. You can tell, like I said, he was having a blast in the booth voicing this guy, man. I don't know what it is about flamboyant characters, but he got a thing for the man, because, you know, he voiced him, Hisoka famously. There might be a couple other ones I don't know of or remembering, but I know Hisoka's like the big one that he voices. Anyway, and then for Shirakumo says, hey, your job might not have been good today, but with age you'll get better. Then with eyes out, you get a zero! And they asked him like, why do you think he got a 0? And Aizawa says like because his powers were because he thought his powers because he couldn't get his powers were because of smoke and everything. But he tells him that is wrong. And instead, the reason why he failed, why he gets 0 points failed, is because you look like someone who just died. This dude is funny, man. I like this guy, Purple Highness. I don't know if he dies in the next episode as well, because like I said, from like what we saw in the post-credit scene, the next episode, bro looks like he got fucked up by this frog kaiju. But either way, man, whether he lived or dies along with Shirakumo, this dude's pretty funny. I like this guy. And then it goes off that the only reason that the only hope that heroes bring hope, and the only hope he brings is that they hope they die faster. This dude was so funny, man. I was absolutely having a blast with him. He was so funny. And then this fucking guy. And so then he says that in the Song of Heroism calls to this dude that has like this magical girl-esque transformation where his like top or whatever is blown off as he fires lasers from his nipples. I wish I was joking. That is literally what happens in the episode. This brother starts firing lasers out of his nipples. I don't know why. I don't know if that's his quirk works. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know, to be honest with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, he then like start posing for these flowers, like while he's like got his hand near his nipple, man. While there's like the triangle thing around it, man, from the lasers. Just absolute madness, man. This dude, like I said in the beginning, I can see why he picked Midnight. They match each other's freak. Anyway, so after that, we then cut over to some locker room or whatever. Shirokuma was in the shower, Aizawa was sulking, and you know, he's talking about how useless he is, about his quirk, how he couldn't help, etc, etc, etc. They keep going on, and then Midnight just starts blowing up his phone, spamming him with photos of the kid. Honestly, they are some pretty cute pics, not gonna lie. I honestly do wonder, because now obviously while the manga was publishing, the main series was still publishing, but like with Vigilantes being obviously both over and the main series is now over at this area, I do wonder if maybe at the end of this arc they add like an anime original scene that confirms who's taking care of the cat. Like it confirms that Aizawa took over the cat once Midnight died. Probably not, because that would obviously fuck with the timeline. Unless it was like in the thread of then a flash forward, then a flashback back. I don't know. I would like to know who's taking care of the cat now, but whatever the case may be. Anyway. So then Shirokuma comes out there, man, once again, naked. I was like, bro, put some clothes on, and then he puts his cloud in front of him again. Also, one thing I also forgot to mention, man, because we kind of skipped part of the episode. We also got we have for the purple highness magical girl transformation that was absolutely steady. Ayana Nishino, if I pronounced that right. Yeah, presumably is the animator behind that cut as well, and so yeah. That's the one behind that one. I'm about to say the next one, but that one's a little further out. Anyway, so we then cut to a few days later. Once again, the dude's back at it again, robbing like a bank or something. He runs away, powering his smoke everywhere. Once again, still smoking 3 cigarettes for some reason. Bro goes through 3 packs a day instead of 1. It's a miracle this dude can even run this much. Anyway, so he's firing his smoke once again. Aizawa catches up to him, and we get one last flashback where he mentions about his whole eye thing, and then Shirokuma gives him his goggles so he can wear them to protect his eyes, so he can still use his quirk while facing off against this guy with the smoke. So once again, for Aizawa, he's able to, the dude starts firing smoke. Aizawa's able to just go right through it because the goggles activates erasure, and Shirokuma comes in there, man, with a clutch save, with a power pole to the face, and instantly that incapacitates him so they can wrap him up and get the police to take over. This cut was handled by Nelly, is the animator behind this sequence on Song of Heroism. And then the following, along with the other half, with Aizawa's with this really nice sequence where they're like fighting, where Aizawa and him are fighting. Like the choreography is really fucking good. Right before Shirokuma drops him with the power pole. This was done by Bam Booty. I shit you not. Bam Booty and Levnet, if I'm pronouncing that name right, are the 2 animators behind this cut. Bam Booty took care of the first part with Aizawa getting thrown in the actual fight itself, while Levnet took care of Shirokumo's portion of this sequence. So there you guys go. Anyway, so like I said, the cops come in there, they take care of him. Of course, the civilians see this, they're all celebrating and cheering, you know, about how cool Aizawa and Shirokuma is. And then he tells them to show them a smile. Shirokuma obviously smiles, has no problem. Aizawa was obviously struggling to get a smile, and once again he says, "Like you just say somebody!" I don't know if he said that, but he was yelling at Aizawa once again, you know, and saying, like, you failed, like, smile like you just say someone, man. Like I said, this dude's pretty funny. Keith Silverstein plays him brilliantly, man. Once again, we get new commercial cards once again with the goggles, as well as just the trio on top of the rooftop. I'm glad that they kept this, man. This isn't like they only did it for that one episode. They weren't doing it. I'm glad we got individual, unique commercial card for these 3 episodes, seemingly, man. So I'm happy that they can. Like, I kind of hope this stays a thing for the rest of the series where we get commercial cards, because like I said, you guys will Vigilante sometimes gives them to them, sometimes they don't, and it's really annoying. Just like, gave them. They're really cool. I want to see them. Anyway. So then we get to the next term where they're doing another like training exercise at UA, some like hero training. And I don't know what this dude's name is, the real name. I'm just gonna call him Knockoff Iron Man because that's literally what he is. You know, with the guy with like the repulsors he got on. And this dude tries to start some shit with Aizawa over his goggles because he says that he's ripping off his style. Mind you, Aizawa is wearing goggles while he is wearing sunglasses. He is rocking shades. And he didn't even come up with the shades. He got the idea from President Mike. So I don't know why bro is making such a big stink about this. He even says it pissed me off for some reason when he challenges him to a duel. It's very bizarre why this dude is so stuck up on this thing and hung up on this very detail about these glasses, man. It is very, very, very bizarre. Anyway, so like I said, I don't know what this dude is on about. So like I said, they eventually he pairs them off for like their next training exercise, and then Shirokuma, of course, suggested that the work study kids get paired together because obviously he just wants to be with Aizawa. And so like that happens, and of course President Mike and the other guy are in the same agency as well. He says, "Hey teens, mind if I end up switching? I'm not feeling his attitude today." And teacher, you know he is sick of their shit. He says, "Too bad, put up with it." It's like, tough luck, put up with it, man. Like, he's just straight up yelling at him. So they're teaming up. They actually make a surprisingly good team, President Mike and this other guy. Though I gotta know, what sound effects did they get to use to play? Like, yeah, yeah. It's like kind of like that, man. I don't know how I'm sure that's all just like digital shit from the engineer, but it sounded really cool. I really like the sound of it, man. Anyway, so they're working together, man. We cut over, and then of course this is when we cut to him, like, you know, making a better, challenging him to a duel that the winner gets to keep their glasses. I don't know why he's so stuck on us. Of course, Shirokuma agrees to bet, and then he doubles him, saying like, you know, you put your sunglasses on the line, whoever wins gets to keep their glasses. And President's like, not mine, right? And so he's like, Shirokuma says like, these goggles are a symbol of our friendship. Let's keep it safe. And Aizawa, he's just not amused by any of this. And then the dude tells President Mike to fuck off, that he can beat them all by himself. So Aizawa and Shirokuma team up. They end up Shirokuma creates a bunch of clouds surrounding him and be like, "Oh, where are we hiding?" And we find out that actually President Mike, rather Aizawa, was behind him while Shirokuma was in front of him. Used the power pole to take him out. So Aizawa then picks up the glasses, saying like, "This is stupid. You won. Just admit you lost. You can keep your glasses." So this dude then just marches up to Aizawa as he's holding his glasses, slaps them out of his hand, then stomps on them, refusing to take, and I think it's safe to say, and I mentioned this in my reaction to the episode, I think it's safe to say, this dude is Bakugo if he never grew up, if he never got humbled. This is who this guy is. I don't know if we ever learn, or if we're ever going to learn what happened to him. Did he turn to a villain? Did he drop out of UA? Did he flunk out of UA? Is he a hero? Did he actually, like, you know, actually learn some humility and is actually a decent hero now? Like, I kind of hope we learn what happens to this guy by the end of the by the end of this arc, just for my own curiosity, know what happened to this guy. Because so far, he just seems like Bakugo if he never got humbled. Anyway, so he then starts marching off, straight up walking out of the extra assembly. The teacher is blowing the whistle at him, be like, "You can't leave like this! You forget the purpose of this extra exercise, and he starts chasing after him, man. Tells Aizawa Shirakumo they did well before he continues chasing after the dude and blowing the whistle at him. So then we cut over to them eating lunch on the rooftop once again. For some reason, President Mike is now rocking the goggles. I do not know why he isn't sticking with the sunglasses. Did they get broken or something? I don't know. I don't know what that is all about. And then we see that seemingly all three of them are just wearing them at school. Even Aizawa has it around his neck, just chilling there while he's eating lunch. Why? I get Shirakumo why he probably keeps his goggles on, just given his person. President Mike, not sure, but why is Aizawa still wearing them? Like, bro, yeah, he wears them because he says they're functional, but why are you wearing them while you're in your school uniform, bro? You are not in your hero outfit. Why are you wearing them? Why do you have them still around your neck? Like, I do not understand this. This makes no sense to me why he's still rocking them. Whatever the case may be, we seemingly President Mike is getting moved to their agency, and we get a quick shot insert shot of Purple Highness, and men have been like, yes, I love a good bone. And I'm like, I'm sure you do. Anyway, so they're conversing, and eventually Shirakumo mentions, like, hey, we should start our, once we're graduating, we should start our own agency, which we already knew about. And then eventually Midnight comes in and be like, oh, I love teen angst. The back and forth between you three is delicious. And yo, Midnight doing her own thing. Aizawa's like, now I'm suddenly wondering if I need to find a new place to eat my lunch. And then she asks if he wants to see the kid. Then he like immediately turns to her. Like immediately, bro, wants to see those pictures of the cat. I do wonder, like I said, I wonder who is taking care of the cat now after Midnight. Is it Aizawa? Seems like that's possible. I don't know. I gotta hope we do get the answer to the question, but I'm almost certain we will not get the answer to that question in this series. Maybe, I don't know, movie 4, or movie 5 rather, which will probably be Vigilantes crossover. Maybe we'll finally answer this question. Who knows? Anyway, so she comes in there, shows the pictures, and then Shirakumo starts saying, like, you know, we're gonna start with the agency with the 4 of us. Yeah, see, now it's including Midnight. Midnight says no, that when she starts or goes into, she's gonna have her own agency. It'll be, you know, all the men do her whims, man. You know, Midnight just being Midnight. And so, you guys may remember in my review for the previous episode, I had made a prediction. That I have a feeling that there will be a mass influx of shippers that ship President Mike and Aizawa, switching sides to Shirakumo and Aizawa, like with, you know, like I mentioned before, Baku Deaths are doing that with Tochako, and desperately trying to make Eden Uraraka a thing, Lamau. Anyway. I also think I have another prediction, another theory that I think might happen with shippers. I wouldn't be surprised if with this season wrapping up and everything in this arc, we see an influx of Shirakumo and Midnight shippers. Because in this episode, brother is clearly smitten with her. Then again, Midnight is a bad bitch, so you can't really blame him for that. But anyway, you know, he's talking like, you know, Midnight, like he asks her if he wants to turn the goggles on, and he says how they look, and he says, you look like a total babe in anything you wear. Like, bro is obviously smitten with her, and obviously has a thing for her. Understandably so. So, yeah, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if we start seeing some Shirakumo and Midnight shippers in the coming weeks and months. I could be wrong, and both my predictions could be way off. I don't know, but I would not be surprised if either of those options end up happening. Anyway, we end the episode with Aizawa looking out the rooftop, you know, towards the sky. We also get like a version where the art style was completely changed, which is pretty cool. But we still don't have any animators credited for this section at all, unfortunately. But this was pretty cool, and that is where the episode ends. But wait, there's more. Because we have a post-credit scene, obviously setting up 1 week later, setting up Shirakumo's death, where we see a kaiju is just leveling buildings and everything, man. We see a shadow, you know, we see a silhouette amongst the clouds, man. And in the next episode, we see that, you know, Purple Highness is taken out, man. We see the goggles with like the glass, with bits of the glass shattered out of them, and obviously we know Shirakumo is dying in the next episode. And then in the next episode, we see that it is a giant frog. I still can't get over the fact that Shirakumo gets done in by a fucking frog. A powerful frog from the looks of the battle, from the looks of the damage it's left in his wake, but a frog nonetheless. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is where this episode, will be off. Hopefully, this episode 9 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social media, links are below, and as always, for more. See you guys next time.
やけに隠せの夜明けに隠せの夜明けに